2 years ago, Mark Rober made a video exposing one of the many highly popular scams shown on YouTube, the flying phone. Today it's my turn. Just like Mark, I get extremely annoyed when I see an obvious scam on YouTube that's getting millions of views, making a lot of money off of ad revenue, and the worst part of all is there's going to be people out there that will waste hard-earned money and time trying to duplicate what they saw, and that's absolutely disgraceful. I feel it's my duty when I see a scam to inform everyone. The video I'm talking about is the one you see right here. It's only 1 month old and already exceeding 3 million views. After watching it, I was easily able to identify that it was a fraud, and after you watch this video, you'll have no choice but to agree. What the person did is they took a small hermetically sealed compressor like you see right here. It's only a 1/5 horsepower compressor, and after it starts up, it only uses around 150 watts. So right off the bat, the thumbnail that the person used said 6,000 watt output. There's no way this compressor can deliver 6,000 watts if it was converted into a generator. Once the housing was cut open, the motor was removed, and you can see it right here. It's a common induction motor. This part is a stator. It happens to be a 2-pole stator. And since this compressor was designed to be used with 220 volts, 50 hertz, the RPM for this compressor is going to be right around 3,000. The 2 larger windings are the run windings, and the 2 smaller windings are the start windings. Here's a look at the rotor. It's the typical rotor. It's nothing more than laminated iron with aluminum. When AC power is supplied to the windings of the motor, an electromagnetic field is created that induces currents into the rotor, causing it to spin. Being a person that has made bicycle generators, crank generators, induction generators, and even converted microwave oven fan motors into a multi-phase generator, I can tell you that the only way you're going to be able to convert this compressor into a generator is by adding powerful neodymium magnets in the correct location to the rotor, or by adding the correct value run capacitor across the output for the run windings, and then spinning the motor faster than the nameplate rating to allow the residual magnetism inside the rotor to build. And that's called an induction generator. So this person decided to take the rotor out. Notice there was no magnetism or extremely little on the rotor, so he placed a heavy wire around it and connected it to a 12-volt battery to induce a magnetic field into the rotor. Now the only problem with that, the result is an extremely weak magnetic field, and the magnetic field is going to end up on the ends of the rotor, north and south on opposite ends, instead of having the north and south where it counts on each side of the surface of the rotor. So what he did is going to result in very little, if any, power. With the modified compressor motor ready to go, he mounted it to a wooden board alongside an engine. If you look just to the right of the modified compressor motor, you're going to see a red arrow pointing at a hole in the board. The next thing he did was install the belt on the pulleys and adjust the tension. From this angle, you can still see the one hole in the board. And right here, before connecting the power strip, you can see there's now 2 holes in the board. He takes the power strip and mounts it to the board, covering up one of the holes. Right here, he connects the 2 wires to the compressor motor to make you believe that the power is going to be coming off of the motor into the power strip. Next, he opens up the valve on the water pump, which happens to be a 1/2 horsepower motor. So this right here is another impossibility. He's trying to power a 1/2 horsepower motor using a 1/5 horsepower designed compressor. It is simply not possible to use a smaller motor to power a bigger one. If you take a look at the pulley ratios, you're going to notice the one that's on the engine is right around 1 inch in diameter, so 25 millimeters, and the one that's on the modified compressor is larger, around 2.5 inches or 63 millimeters. We're going to have a ratio 2.5 to 1. So every 2.5 revolutions of the engine is only going to give us 1 revolution at the modified compressor. So if the engine is running around 750 RPM, we can expect around 300 RPM at the generator. And that's 1/10 the speed this motor was designed to run at when it was being powered by 220 volts. So the speed that's being used is way too slow. Anytime you have a generator that's idling and you plug in an inductive load such as a motor, it's going to react. You're going to hear the generator speed drop, When the speed of the generator does drop, it will normally compensate by increasing the supply of gas to increase the speed of the engine. You would also notice on any belt-driven generator that once a load is placed on it, you're going to see that belt tighten up under load because the shaft of the generator is going to be much harder to turn. Next he starts up the engine and you can tell it's running at a slow speed, around 750 to 800 RPM. You can see the motor had no response at all, it did not drop down, and the belt was flopping around like crazy. The belt did not tighten up at all when the water pump was plugged in. That's a clear indication the power supply for the water pump is not coming from the generator. Now I want to show you something over here in the lower left hand corner of your screen. Do you see something? I'll highlight it for you, and what is it? It happens to be a black wire laying in the grass heading towards the generator setup. Right now he's going around the generator to show you that nothing's connected, but he makes a very bad mistake. He brings the camera just a little too low, and what do you see right here? A black wire, just like the one I showed you in the grass, and it's angling upward right towards the power strip. This is where your power is coming from. It's connected to the power strip, and the two wires from the generator are not connected in any way to that power strip. And at the very end, he's showing you that he's in the middle of a field, far from everything, that it's not possible to be getting any power from someplace. But luckily, he makes another mistake. He kneels down in front of the TV with his camera, and the glare of the TV is reflecting behind him. And you can see about 15 feet back, or 5 meters, there happens to be a vehicle parked there. And on the left side, you can see a concrete column with something mounted on the side of it. And to the far right top of the television, you can see another area that's reflecting. It looks like a concrete area or a concrete wall. So all the power is coming from right behind him. Guys, the sad part, there are countless videos on YouTube just like this one. Be sure to rate thumbs up and share the video link. Thanks for watching.